a UiPath MVP for this year. So yeah, over to you, Pranav, and happy for you to kickstart, share your screen, and yeah, let's learn from you.
Yeah, thank you, Saloni. Okay, meanwhile, can you please confirm if you are able to see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, fine. So, very good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Let's kickstart this process mining. As Saloni already mentioned, this is the second session on the discovery part. So, first session was an amazing on automation hub. So now let's go deep dive into process mining. What is process mining? And then the third session is again an interesting one on the task mining, which will be taken by another MVP. So yeah, so this is what all about the sessions that we have already talked about. Now, brief about me. I am currently working as a team lead at Wonderbots. So I am 3 times UiPath MVP. Apart from this, I am solution architect, certified professional business analyst, PMP, and recently I have also completed my agentic certification too. So that's all about me. So this is my profile. I would be happy to connect with all of your, so that we can share everything in our network. Yeah, fine. So yes, this is what we have already discussed yesterday as well, and I'll repeat the same thing that as the platform is also engaging and also increasing some of the tool section. So we are covering this time on the process part, which is the process intelligence. So earlier we call it as discovery as a platform, but now with new Act 2 as the go ahead for UiPath platform, we are now focusing on the process intelligence part. Okay. Quick about my community. So I am basically from India. So I am also UiPath Bangalore community chapter lead. So those who are joining from India, and if you are from part of Bangalore, feel free to connect with me so that we every month some meetups we organize it. Last week we have organized for Maestro. So same thing, if you are interested to share your skills in UiPath, or if you want to become a speaker or help the community to grow anyway. So you can use this link, you can register yourself, and then we can connect and discuss more on this. Okay, so now with these things, let's quickly start with what agenda we have for today. So today we will be seeing what is process understanding, then what are few of the challenges that we are seeing in the current process, and this then we'll be seeing how process mining comes into picture, what are the different life cycles of process mining, then different nitty-gritty of the terms like event logs, and then finally the demo. I don't want to bore anyone with the theoretical part, but yes, just giving you a brief what is process mining and few of the terms that will help you to understand more about process mining. Yep. Now, before we start the first part of what is process mining, I just want to make sure this session is interactive, and you should be happy to stop me then and there wherever you feel I am going little speed, or whenever you have any doubt on that. So to break this, so anyone can voluntarily help me to understand in any of your project, your manager, senior manager, or any leadership might be asking you some questions. And these questions are typically in the range of the first one, like how long does it take to complete a particular process? Or someone on the cost KPIs, for example, how much does it cost to complete a particular process? Or the other one, does the outcome of this process meet established criteria? So how many of you can relate with this particular questions that anyone might be somewhere in your professional life you have seen this kind of questions? Anyone wants to voluntarily talk about this?
Yep. No, this is Naresh. Yeah, I
Yes, yes.
recently had these questions last night with
Okay.
my senior managers and the directors. They're
Okay.
working on a use case. I mean, they asked me to do a POC with the teams. Uh, and after that, they asked me, okay, what will be the cost and how much we will save and how effective that will be. So we have this. Usually, we have these questions.
Yeah, yeah. It's not like in one process. In almost any of the process that we work for, the first question, if you are working on any of the automation project, the first question that will typically asked by anyone is like, how long does it take to complete a particular process? How the return on investment, how much we can save, and quality part. So these are all like the basic things that comes from. But how do you answer it? In generally, earlier what we were doing based on our experiences from previous project or somewhere we hypothetically we understand, okay, this might takes 10 days, and if you do automation this, then this can be reduced by 5 days, something where we don't back it by proper data. So this is where few of the things comes into picture. Okay, so this was just an icebreaker question. Okay, I'll talk about this with how process mining helps you to actually save these things with which actually backed by data. So I'll be talking about in few of the minutes. Okay, moving to the next slide. The next slide talks about that the left one, that 37% of decision makers report delays to digital transformation due to misunderstood process. So what does it mean? It means if you see the right slide screenshot where any of the, yeah, anyone having any questions? Okay, no. So any of the managers or executives, they understand the first part of the process. For example, let me highlight this. Okay. So what they assumed is, okay, so they think that any of their process looks something like very sequential. For example, there will be one process, then linear process goes something like this. But in reality, they don't know that their processes are so messed up, so difficult to work, so complex that it looks something like this in reality, which the high level people are not aware of it. So for this, what is the solution? So for that, the current challenges lies in the complexity of the process. And when I'm talking about any processes, I'm not specific to any process, irrespective whichever process you are working for. There are many complex processes you might be working in one part of the process. For example, you might be working as a developer where you are working in automation, one specific thing. For example, you are working on invoice processing automation or Excel process automation, email process, or any other thing. You don't have the end-to-end visibility of how process looks from beginning or start to the end. Also, inefficient processes. There are some processes which requires human intervention. There are some processes where robots are working. There are some processes where some other things are going on. So even those processes are not very sure what are you doing with it. There is no proper transparency for those processes. Apart from this, there are many compliances issues. Humans are working, sometimes security checks are happening, audits are going on, and you felt it, humans missed something. So those things are not visible to you. Even though there are many risks available in your project, you wanted to do something, you wanted to make sure some implementation is there, but some of the risk management that you have taken, which is not allowing you to do anything. And also, finally, the lack of visibility. You are not sure how the process looks. For example, how many of you work on the purchase to pay? If you can quickly give me yes, no in the chat, so then I can take this example throughout this session, which can help you to relate this, what I am trying to say here. How many of you are aware of purchase to pay? Okay, someone is typing. James, no. Rajnish, yes. Naresh, yes. Any other? Okay, so I see 3 years, three no. Okay, 4 years. So let's take this yes. In the interest of time, let's assume few of you know about purchase to pay, but I'll definitely give you a background so that you will be understanding what I am trying to say. Okay, now with this current challenges, so what is the solution behind it? So then comes a tool called process mining. So what is process mining? So process mining is a technique to transforms the event data from the IT systems. And when we are talking about IT systems, it can be any system. It can be your CRM, ERP, it can be a sales, anything, Oracle, any system where you store your data. And what it does, it takes the data from those event logs that you stored in your system to into visualize interactive dashboards, allowing us to see bottlenecks, inefficiencies, and other areas for improvement. So this tool helps to extract the data from the system where you stored it, and then gives you a beautiful charts, dashboards where you can see, okay, this is my area for improvement. This is where I can see inefficiencies, and this is where if I can do something, I can definitely improve my process. We will see this in our process, how we can do it. Okay. So what does process mining does? So it helps organization to understand the exact business process instead of assumed and identify new solutions to drive business performance improvement. So this is the official definition of process mining. I'll not go into that definition. Let's see about how does it works in the life cycle. What is the process mining life cycle? So every
Can I interrupt you, Pranav? I can see Rupa's hand up. So, Rupa, did you put your hand up to answer the question on P2P, or you have a question? Rupa, are you talking? Okay, sorry. I think it was to answer the P2P question. Carry on, Pranav.
okay, no problem. Yeah. So let's discuss about life cycle. So as everyone knows, in any of the SDLC, we have life cycle management. Any of the things, for example, from discovery to design, development, testing, hypercare. So similarly, process mining follows a different life cycle. And what does this life cycle means? It starts with collecting the data. What do I mean by saying collecting the data? It means when if you have seen the previous slide where I mentioned that any, let me, okay. And so in the previous slide, I told it transformed the event logs from the IT system. So this is where it is, I was mentioning that it will take data from some system. So this is where collect data comes into picture. Now, every systems have different tabular structure, columns, rows, and there have been standardized format that any process mining tools accepts the data. So this is where pre-process the data comes into picture, where you prepare the data based on the structure that process mining takes the data, for example, P2P. So there is a separate way in which we expect the data in the tool. And this is where once you collect the data, you have to make the data in the background. Then only you can process the data in the process mining. And then once you have uploaded the data, then comes the discover process. Now you go deep dive into the process mining tool. You will see what is happening, where are the bottlenecks, inefficiencies, and something like this. And then once you have that conformance via the tool backed by data that, okay, this is where our process is lagging, this is where this is inefficient, and now you take some of the enhancements. So, okay, what there are ways like simulations. Okay, if I improve this process, how can I do it? So this is where enhancements comes into picture. And then you can also see different dashboards where you can see what are the automation candidates. If I automate any particular process, what will I get it from the return of investment? How many resources I can save? So everything you can see from the simulation that is there backed by data. And then you can also predict the KPI performance later on. After doing some of the improvements, if you rerun this process after 2 months with the updated data, updated process, or any of the recommendation that you have done in the past, like past processes. So what is the new KPI that you are observing? So this is all the similar kind of life cycle that everyone goes through irrespective. But yes, it starts with the collection of data and then pre-processing of the data, which is the most important part in the process mining. So, okay, before moving to the next slide, I'll quickly take a pause. And if you have any questions, feel free to use this time. Okay, I'll take this as no. And by the way, I'm not looking into the chat section. So if you're writing something, maybe I can take this question at the end. If you want to interrupt me, just unmute yourself and feel free to use this time. Okay, yeah. Fine. So next very important thing that comes into picture is the event logs. So what is event log? So a general definition of event logs is a comprehensive view of end-to-end process covering all the events related to various activities. So let's take an example of purchase to pay. What is purchase to pay? Purchase to pay, for example, you let's understand this with an example. For example, in your organization, you need a laptop. So some of the internal teams need a laptop. So this is where purchase requisitions comes into picture from the team. Okay, so we need 10 laptops. Okay, so once you asked for 10 laptops, definitely it will go for the approval. It will go to the management of the or the approving authority or person who will approve, okay, laptops. Then you will create, then there is something called create purchase orders where you will write, okay, I need 10 laptops, and then you will configure it like, okay, I need Dell, I need Intel, any kind of whatever laptops I need, Apple MacBook. So of this configuration, this RAM, this operating system, I need this thing. So everything is written in the create purchase orders, and then it will be sent to the suppliers. After that, what will happen? The supplier will accept it, and then supplier will send you some goods. So you have received your laptop, and then the supplier will also send you the invoice, and then you will verify your invoice. Okay, what we have created a purchase order, same thing the supplier has sent or not. So there are different mechanism. Okay, someone will go to each and every things, approvals happens, and then you will give the payment. So this is an overview of purchase to pay. So here, let's assume the same example. How can I relate these things? So what is event log? So event logs are basically a end-to-end process covering all the events. For example, when someone has requested for the purchase requisition, so there must be an activity created in the backend in any of the tool. If someone has approved it, so then there will be some things, some activities happen. So that event logs will have the detail of each of the things that is happened by at what time, what is the event ID. It might not have everything that you are seeing on the screen. For example, event cost, event details, team, automated flag users, but it will have general informations like at what time it has been created. It definitely a primary key, something like this event ID, and then activities. What is the activity? And in this case, for example, create purchase requisition, create purchase order items, something like this. So this is nothing but comes under the event logs. Okay. With this, now, as I mentioned, I was again and again giving an example of purchase to pay, but there are many other functions and way. For example, order to cash, incident management, account payable, automation log monitor, configure price code. So there are, as you can see on my screen, there are from SAP, Oracle, Coupa, Jira, Salesforce, ServiceNow, everything is already, these functions are already integrated by UiPath Process Mining. So you will already get some of the by default template from the process mining. Okay. Similarly, there are other things as well. For example, fixed asset management, lead to cash, lead to order, production planning, code to cash, vendor, warehouse management from SAP, Oracle. So these things are already been integrated in the process mining tool. So you just need to use the template. You don't need to create anything from scratch. But the next questions comes, Pranav, what will happen if I don't have anything in these things? So definitely there is also a way. And for this now, I will not use the slides. Now I want to take you directly to the on demo part where you will be able to see what needs to be done and how it needs to be done. Okay. So I hope everyone is very familiar with this particular screen where, for example, now I hope everyone is very familiar with this orchestrator. We are going to the cloud.uipath.com. One thing that needs to be taken care is you need to enable your service for process mining. By default, if you click on this 9 dots, you can see you will not able to find process mining until unless you have enabled that service from the service part. So we'll click on this process mining, which you can see here at the bottom. I'll click here and open it. Okay. So once you click on that, you can see there are you will reach to this particular screen. So there are something called process apps and development. So what is process app? So this is already something where you have already deployed something in the process mining. So you will be able to see it. If you are a beginner, the first thing that you will see will be a blank screen. You won't be able to see any of the things. So for you, what you need to do is you have to click on this something called development. And once you click on the development, what will happen? You will be able to see something like this. So currently, since I'm running process mining day in, day out, so I can see many things here, but for you, it will be again very blank to you. So what you need to do here is you have to come here and click on something called create new app. So I'll click on this create new app. And then this is where I was talking about. So if you remember, just like few minutes back, I was discussing about purchase to pay. I was telling you that purchase to pay available for SAP, Oracle. So this is what I was referring to. So you can see here, the UiPath is giving you to use any of their pre-existing template that they have specifically made for SAP. And you can also see the description, what it is talking about. For example, they are telling that purchase to pay, use SAP Ariba data to analyze your purchase to pay process. So by default, there will be some KPIs that is specific to SAP Ariba will be created here. Same way Oracle. And in case if you don't have, for example, Oracle, SAP, and anything, Coupa, you can see here at the end, they have also given you a general purchase to pay with, with nothing for SAP and Oracle, it can be used for anything. And similarly, there is something called order to cash. And it is the same for order to cash, incident management, automation. So you can see everything. You can scroll down and whichever works for you, you can click on that. But your question is if you don't have anything. So again, you can see here, there are two general process. One is called event log and another is called custom process. So what is the basic difference between custom process and event log? Event log is a single file. So for example, if you have a small file and if you have a CSV data or an Excel file data in a CSV format and you want to upload it, so you can use event log for that. And if you have another like 4-5 XAML or 4-5 Excel file in a CSV or TSV format, so you can use something called custom process. So now to give you more clarity, I'll be using this purchase to pay because since beginning I am talking about purchase to pay, it will give you more clarity instead of just using the custom process. So I'll click on this create app. And then as similar to other apps, you can give any name. For example, demo 29 July, and then something like whatever name you want to give, you can happy to give, and then the description. For example, what is this all about? So I'll just write demo, and then I'll click on next. You can give a meaningful description. Once you click on next, what will happen? You can see here there is a section called select data source. So what is from that you want to get the data for this particular template. And now you will be surprised that you will have so many data sources here. For example, you can see use Theobald. Those who are really familiar with this, you know, Theobald is like specifically used to extract anything from the SAP system. So if you have something is some data in your SAP system, and if you want to use this, I would suggest click on use Theobald extractor. Similarly, if you don't have Theobald, if you don't have SAP, you can use C data extractor. So C data is again a tool to extract data from source system into the UiPath process mining tool. So you can use use C data extractor. If you don't have like C data, and if you have some data in an Excel file, for example, if you have some data of one like 100 MB and everything is there in the CSV data, you don't want that tension of going to see data and uploading data from backend. So you can use something called upload data. So once you click on this upload data, you can see here it will ask you upload data using a set of CSV files. So these are the three. Another is use sample data. This particular thing is basically that UiPath has already uploaded few of the data, few of the sample data, and this you can use for any demo or just for the learning purposes. This is not for any of the production ready. And then again, upload data using extractor. So if you want to use blob storage or anything on that, then this is the 5 ways. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 ways by upload your data into your existing template that you are creating. So for this particular, what we will be restricting, we will be restricting ourselves into the sample data, the data that has already been there. I just want to take you, show you how you can read the data, what is there in the template, how can you create your own dashboard, because uploading data using another extractor is again a very long topic, which is not sufficient to cover in an hour. So just whichever you do, you can click on next and automatically it will, okay. Harpreet, I think, yes, Harpreet, please.
Hi, Pranav. Hi. Can like I have one question. When should we use process mining? Like, what kind of processes we should use? We can use a process mining.
Okay, so when you have a bigger processes, for example, if your company is working on purchase to pay or order to cash, where you want to understand or in general, Harpreet, you give me like 5 minutes and I'll come back to the same question. I'll give you the answer. You will get that
No worries.
understanding.
Yeah. Thank
Okay,
you.
okay, fine. Okay, so once you click on next and once you click like for example next, it will ask you to submit it, and once you submit it, it will take a minute or two to upload the data in your template. So now what will happen? So since I have for the interest of time, because sometimes it takes 2 minutes, sometimes it takes 4 minutes. So for the interest of time, what I did, I already uploaded the data and I have created it. So let me open this particular part, and then Harpreet, I'll then once you see this demo, this particular file, then you will able to understand what I am trying to say here. Okay, meanwhile, if anyone has any questions, I'll take a pause and then you can feel free to ask me anything. Okay, I think there are some questions. Okay, I think Saloni already answered it. Okay. Okay, so I think there is some network issues. No? Oh, fine. So you can see that I have already created this. So let me open this. Okay. Okay. So now assuming that we have uploaded our data, so let me click. So assuming that I have opened my template by uploading the data. So again, as I mentioned, uploading the data is also one of the important thing in UiPath process mining, because different template uses different thing. So once you just click on this template by once you have uploaded the data, you will see something like this. So first thing you have to do is to click on this preview. Okay. Okay. So now once you click on this preview, what you will be able to see here is first some of the KPI list that by default, as I mentioned, UiPath gives you that P2P template. And once you have provided data of similar kind, automatically you don't need to even create that thing. Automatically, the based on the data columns or table that you have uploaded, UiPath Process Mining tool will give you this kind of information. For example, your average throughput time end to end is 21.23 days. For those who are not aware, what is throughput time? Throughput times means from the starting of your process to the end of the process. In general, your process is taking around 21 days. And similarly, what is the current automation rate of your process? What is late delivery rate? What is maverick buying? I'll come to these points again in a minute. Then before going deep into this, I just want to click on one thing and then I'll answer Harpreet's questions. So for example, there is a tab called analysis, and in that there is something called end-to-end process. So as you know, we are working this template is specifically for the purchase to pay. So let's see how can we interpret this. Okay. So once you click on this end-to-end process, you can see something like this particular screen. And what you can see here, let me just use this slider to the left. And I hope everyone is able to see my screen. This particular graph, let me make it little zoom so that you can understand. Okay. So what is this process is, if you remember, I was talking about create purchase requisition, then someone approve purchase requisition level 1, approve purchase requisition level 2, then someone has created purchase order, create purchase order items, then that purchase order items has been approved, then we have received the goods, and then create invoice item, that create invoice item, and then payment is not there because this is a sample data. Okay. Now, Harpreet, like coming to your question, where is process mining suitable? So when you have a big process like purchase to pay, order to cash, lead management, where there are multiple department functions involved in your team. So it's like again coming back to this purchase to pay. If you have something like if many of your teams are working on different departments, for example, someone's role is to create requirements like that purchase requisitions, and then someone's role is to approve it, someone roles is to create it, someone roles is to send and check whether delivery happens, someone has to check again whether that invoice matched based on the customer's feedback. So you can see here there are multiple teams, multiple departments involved. And when a executive, for example, a C-suite executive asked you that how much time one process takes you from the day you started requisition and the day you received it. So now this is just one example. So that visibility is not there as a team who is just working on approval, who is just working on create purchase order. So that end-to-end visibility will only have when you understand the data from the beginning to the end. And this is where process mining comes into picture, which will take the data from the IT system that you already have it, and it will just show you, okay, what is your current process and many more that I am about to tell you. Did I answer your question, Harpreet?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Again, I will be, yes. Someone was speaking. Sorry, I cut you. Okay, fine. We can discuss the same thing in the Q&A part. Okay. So this is the first thing. So this was the process that even your management or your leadership knows it. Okay. That in any of our purchase to pay, this is the flow. And this is what I was talking about. If you remember my first slide, this slide, if let me go back and show you. So this is the expectation. Everyone knows about it. Okay. This is how this sequence goes. And this is what you are able to see. Correct? Everyone? But to your surprise, if I want to surprise you, what I can show you here is I will just take this, the slider to your right part. Let's take it at the middle. And what you will be seeing here is that your process, which you assumed it is sequential. Now you can see that now there are another factors here. For example, there is something called create, then there is something called reject, delete, restore. There is nothing like it is always going to approve. It is going somewhere else as well. So this is just the half of your process. If I just make it to the extreme right, what you will be able to observe that even you yourself will be confused how entangled your process looks like. So even I can't zoom and show you. So this much of loop, this much of thing. So what this indicates now for a executive, the assumption was my process very simple. I know my P2P purchase, but in reality, based on how your process is working, and this is what it looks like. So you can see here how much entangled complex things are there. Even I can't zoom and show it to you how your process looks like. So this is where this particular screenshot is the answer, that in reality you don't have a very like exact smooth process. It looks something very discrete like this. Okay. Okay, now, so this is the first thing that I got from this particular tool. Okay, my process looks little different. Okay, since this is an AI powered tool, so you can see here there is something called process inefficiencies, this torch symbol. So if you click on this part, what will happen? It will automatically tell you few of the things that it is seeing from the data. For example, there is, and it has created a section called bottleneck. Okay, in bottleneck, in the restore purchase requisition level 1, the activity tends to be very slow, taking an average of 7.89 days. This is 5.61 days more than the average event. So for example, what based on the data, what it has seen is that in average, your process is taking 2.28 days, but most of the things in this restore activity is taking something like this. Similarly, there are other bottlenecks that it is highlighting. There are also suggestions for low automation. For example, create purchase order item. This activity has a low automation rate, which is 0%. This is 39% less than the average. So when it is comparing with the average automation rate, so it is seeing this and it is giving you as a hint. It is not true, it is not right. It is just telling you based on the data that it is observing. Okay. Apart from this, another rework. Okay. What does rework means? As the name suggests, you are reworking on your existing processes. For example, create outgoing payment. So what it is telling you, this activity tends to have high amount of rework. On average, it is executed 49.4 times. So it is telling you in average, whatever your process is, but this particular create outgoing activity that you are mentioning here is like reworking 49 times than the others. Similarly, create accounting document, approve purchase requisition level 2, and then rework is happening in approved purchase order level 1. So these are of lesser, so you can see it and based on what you feel it. So now there are two roles that comes in process mining. First role is kind of a process mining consultant or a developer whose task is to upload the data from the wherever system the clients has stored it. For example, if you have a system in SAP, so that data you have to make sure you collect the data and process it based on how your system accepts. For example, in purchase to pay, a process mining accepts something in a very different manner. So that role of the consultant is you have to make sure you give that kind of data so that we can see this dashboard. And now the another role comes is the analyst, process business analyst, you can see, whose role is once you have this data. Now, how can you analyze this data? What answer it is giving you, and how can you use this in your process? So this is the first thing that you have got it. Now, there are other things as well. So for example, if you see the first this part where you can see that you have automation rate of 39% currently this data. So there might be data. For example, if you are getting something like this, it means there will be some data backing this. And then there is something called variance, 665 ways. So what is variant? As the name suggests, variant means don't expect that every time your process is going sequentially like this. Variant means there are 665 ways from start to end your process is working. For example, instead of going to this activity, it has moved to this. Similarly, something like this. So this is what variance means. So out of the 1849 items, that is your purchase orders, let's assume total number of items, it has 665 variants. It means it is doing the work 665 ways. It is not one or two, which is a quite concern. Then average throughput time, it is taking around 21 days to complete a process or a purchase order. And then purchase orders, how many purchase orders we have? We have around 6,000 purchase orders. And what is the total item value? So you can see here, overall, we are dealing with 2.65 million value of this purchase orders. So this is what the basic information we are getting it from. Now it's up to you how you want to take this forward. So for example, for me, if I have to start something, so let's see how can I do it. So I'll take like this and I'll click on this filter. So I'll click on this plus, and then you can see here there are different columns will come. So what I'll do, let me let me use something called purchase approve requisition level 1. So what I'll do, I'll click on this activity. There is an option called filter, and I'll see select purchase orders without approve purchase requisition level 1. So what does it means, and what I'm trying to see here is I know any of my process needs to go through the approval process of whatever the structure we have. So here we have seen that there is a level 1, level 2 approval. But I want to see how many activities or how many processes has missed that part. So for example, now you have used the filter items, and now you can see that based on that filter items, you will get this much of data. So for example, what it is telling you that, and you can also see here this 13%. So you have around 18,000 of 18,494 items, but here without approval, there are around 2,456, which makes around 13% of your data is without approved purchase requisition level. So which is quite concerned, right? How come if you have defined it that every process has to go through the approval, why it is not going? So this is a question that a business analyst will ask. So now there can be different policies. Now as a company, for example, if any of the processes does is less than 1,000 or 2,000 rupees, for example, this is just an example, I don't want to even send it to an approval. I just want to manually approve it and send it to the department without my approval. So yes, there can be a situation like this, but I'm not telling here that this is a wrong thing, but I just want to understand a item value of $354,000 of worth is going without approved purchase requisition. So now just we need to deep dive into it. Okay, why this is happening? So this is one of the thing. Okay, and based on it, you can also see how many of your process. So for example, right now 168 variants is also coming, and out of this 168 variants, most of the variants are following this 145 number of items. It What does it mean? It means majority like variant 27. And what is variants? Again, the same naming convention we have, because we can't name it. So variant 27 means a variant is being used 145 times, means some they are following 145 ways of doing this variant 27. Similarly, variant 36, it has been executed, this step has been executed 114 times. Okay, so this is just a basic information. I have lot to cover, so I'll not go into that much. So there are similarly, there are other tabs like event analysis, where you can see here, I'm just referring to the same activity that we have talked about. You have create purchase order, post goods received, create purchase order item, how many times those activities has been executed. Then there are tags. What are tags? Tags are like events that are created in the process. For example, there are few invoices or few tags, unreasonable quick invoice receipt. For example, we might be seeing it very frequently. For example, create purchase requisition happen and then create purchase order immediately happen and then invoice also received. Something which might have seen in the data. Similarly, there are examples like goods received before or before PO approval. For example, your goods has already been received in the company without you have given an approval. So this is where tags comes into picture, and you can see here there are 391 times this has happened in the company. Okay, so these are like this can be designed, these all can be designed by the business analyst and all. Okay, apart from this, there are other potentials which I have not discussed. For example, what is process data? So now process data is the exactly the raw data that you have received, but it is limited for now. You can't see all the data that you have got it. So now since we have filtered it, so we can be seeing the accounting documents related to this activity that we have filtered. For example, goods received, invoice items, purchase order items. So if I click on this purchase orders, I'll be able to see, okay, for this company, the purchase order is this. So if I want to see, click on purchase order items, and if I click on this part, details part, so you will be able to see that, okay, first of all, in Jan 1st, 2020, approve purchase requisition level 2 happens, then create purchase order happens, create purchase order items happen, approve purchase order level, post goods and create invoice. So this is the sequence of what for this particular purchase order items that has happened. So this is what the data gives you. Similarly, there are other things as well, which is purely the raw data. Now, the next important thing that I want to highlight here is the simulation part. So let's go to the simulation. And what does simulation mean? Simulation is where now you will tell your executive, for example, you have identified this use case where this purchase request requisition is happening, or let me remove everything. Okay. So now you have identified that the approved purchase requisition level 1 is taking 10 days. But your assumption is if we can reduce that time from 10 days to, for example, 5 days, how much benefit I'll give you, or what if how much. So this is where simulation comes into picture, which will give you a data so that you can tell it, okay, now if we remove that from 10 days to 5 days, we will literally save around this much. So to do this, now UiPath has already implemented a simulation. You can click on this new simulation. You can give it as like demo 29th July, and you can check few of the filters. For example, you want to update activity throughput time, or for example, let's assume I am talking about approved purchase requisition. So ideally it is taking around 4.79 days. It is backed by data. If I decrease this number by, for example, 50%, and I'll simulate it, just I want to show it to you. And now you can see that let's wait for it. It will take like 30 seconds. So right now, let's give it wait. It will give you the updated data, how much time it will take if you just reduce it. And also based on it, you can also see the flows, how much. Okay. So now you can see that the average throughput time, which is ideally taking 21.23 days, if I just make a changes in my approved purchase requisition level 1, and if I reduce this by 50%, I can literally, the average throughput time will come around 19.03 to 19.29. And also you can see this changes that is there in the graph. So for example, approved purchase requisition level 1. So now you can see that number of purchase order items, and also you can see the updated graph, how much saves it, how much savings can happen. Similarly, another important thing is the automation potential, which is the crux of this process mining. For example, let me, okay, for example, you can see here there is one of your activity called create purchase requisition. It is taking around 65,000 manual processing time. This particular activity, create purchase requisition, which is taking around 68,000 hours. I want to see if I do automation, what will happen to it. And this is where simulation comes into picture. Once you click on simulation, it will ask you basic questions like number of ways, the same thing if you have attended the automation hub. So it will ask you the same thing. If process is completed the same way, whether it's a digital data, whether it's a structured input. And if you just giving this three inputs, and if you just click on simulate, what will happen? You can see that it will give you that this particular simulated time. So now you can see that there is an around like 99% or chance of automation, and you can see that earlier it was taking 65. Now everything has been reviewed. 640.40 thousand hours has been reduced. Now earlier how much time, how much and it will remove full-time employment by 28. So this is where this helps you and back you by data. Now there are again, there are more calculations, more things need to be done before just stating this number, but a general overview you will get it. Okay, if I do this automation, how much we can save, how much full-time employment can be shifted to other departments. So this overview you can get it from this tool. And also very important is the root cause analysis. For example, now I want to check of some of my purchase, or like let me, yeah, for example, here anything if you want to check uh, of your tax. For example, you go here and you wanted to talk about which are your goods received before PO approval. So which are those things? So let me click on this and filter this, and I want to know more about it. Who did it? Who approved it? So I'll go to the root cause analysis, and I'll go to this something called purchase order items. Okay, then I'll come to which plant. And if I go to something called, okay, let's assume this. So what I can see that there are some purchase order, especially from the New York plant. I am getting like one references. So there are someone in the New York plant, Atlanta. There are where we are getting that their goods received before PO approval. So now I can again verify them with each plant, what is happening, why this is happening, or I can rework on the process to get it more clarity. Okay, why this are happening. So okay, now there are many things to cover, but with interest of time, I'll be stopping it here. And any question, if you have, feel free to ask, and then we'll move to the another quiz section where we have some surprising gifts to everyone who will be doing it, who will be the top performer.
Pranav, there is one question on the chat, and I wanted you to take it up because it's on the data. Yeah, if you want to read from Naresh.
Let me.
The last, if you go down, I have answered all
Yep.
of them. Yeah, we are, yeah, this one.
Okay, this one, right? Okay, we are talking about P2P. This process has a data in different tables in DB. How these tables can be integrated, or where can we get the data? See, Naresh, so as for example, if you have a P2P and you are using an Oracle system, okay, it might be stored in a different way in the Oracle system. But if you are using process mining and if you want to store the data in your process mining, we have a proper documentation in process mining Oracle. If you want to upload data from an Oracle for P2P, what all are the mandatory tables needed? So we can use those tables and how we can integrate it using C data. You can go with C data. You can, this is just write SQL query and automatically data will come and then you use filter and those things. You can either use in C data to get the data in your process mining tool.
Okay, got it, Prabhu. Thank you so much. So that means uh, it doesn't matter whether what ERP solution we are using. We can use the C extractor or the SQL query to fetch the data from the different tables. Okay.
Correct,
So
correct, correct.
these tables or these table data will be visualized separately, or that will be a combined data that would be.
I didn't get that last part
So
of your question.
okay, so that data will be in I mean, if I uh, go for the visualization, that will be a single table in process mining, or it will be a different tab or tables we can see. I'm talking about the process mining. I imported the data, so that data is the.
Naresh, sorry, I lost you because of my internet connection. Okay, but
Yeah.
I
So
got the point.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Let me. Naresh, can you hear me? Salon, can you confirm?
Yeah.
I can hear you now. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yes, Naresh. So yeah, what I got from you is like yes, if you have one table and everything is there, and then how can we extract it? Is this your question?
No, no. I imported the data that is coming in from the different tables. So
Okay.
that will be on a single place in process mining, or different places and different tabs or tables.
Okay, yeah. So again, yes, this is a very good question. So again, in process mining, we have data transformation. It will be there, and how you want to integrate. For example, if you have 10 tables, you can have 10 tables in process mining in a sequential or somewhere, and then you can use it, relate it, create events. So again, this is on the development side, which developers can do it, and it is there in the tool itself. So you don't need to go outside anywhere. You just need to load the data, and then using the tool itself, data transformation, you can use whichever tables you need for this particular mining.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Prima.
Okay. Anyone? I know we are little short on time, so I really wanted to do the quiz part. So let's quickly do it because I don't want you to miss the goodies or swags. Okay. So okay. Adrian, please log into this Mentimeter and use this code. And once you are done, let me know. Please log in or please use this link, QR code. Everyone has logged into Mentimeter.
Will you stop sharing?
Yes, I will have started that. Okay. Let me reshare it. then. I thought everyone has done it, so that's fine. Okay. Are you able to see the screen, everyone? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you confirm, Pranav, is this the code? Because Craig says this takes to the yesterday's quiz. Is it? I'm just confirming my code from yesterday.
No, just confirm me because I can see that I have given you the same part, but yeah, if not, then are you once you like where this code is taking you? Let me also take it from my phone.
It's a
I
different
can
code,
see.
Craig. Yeah, yeah, it's working for him now. I think it's good. Let's get started.
Okay, so everyone able to see the question? Yes, no? Okay, I can see people are also typing. Yes, go ahead.
Do you want to share the Mentimeter screen also here, Pranav?
Okay, let
Like,
me
you can
stop sharing
present.
this and let me start my
Yeah.
Mentimeter part. I think I have not shared that part. Yes.
Mm.
So yes, are you able to see my Mentimeter?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. Okay. Moving to the next slide. Okay.
I know who complain one. Complain what? Complain what? Who will complain one? I know who. Yeah. Yeah lah. Why don't they sit in MPH Anyway, MPH very hot leh.
Okay. Moving to now next slide.
Yeah. Oh, I will ask. Then the lighting, how? We want to put to take out video. Okay, okay, okay. Let's go.
Okay. Moving to the next question. I think we'll see the leaderboard at the end. Who is leading it, and then based on it, we'll give you some watches. Yep. Okay. I also see one of the answers. Okay. Moving to the next question. Okay. Okay. So I think we have ended this. Let me see the results and see who is in the.
What happens when you present? Because I could see in the present itself.
Is it? I
Yeah.
okay. Let me.
And if you click, no, don't say reset. Okay, that's interesting.
Okay.
Mm.
Something happens here, but I think
Oh,
we have the data who have done it. Okay. View results. Okay. I don't know why.
mm. You have a
Okay.
leadership board. Do you see a leadership board? That's where you can probably just see.
Okay. Let me see that. I know we are running out of time, but uh, okay. I think it has taken anonymous names. That's the reason we can't.
Oh, is it okay?
Yeah. That's the reason, like, we are not able to see the name. Otherwise, it will be.
So none of the names
Okay.
are anonymous.
Nope, I think.
Okay. I would suggest can everybody leave their email IDs and then, let's see if we can
Yeah.
find out who's the winner and then
Yep.
let you know.
And then we'll send the goodies. Yes.
Let's catch up, Pranav, and see if we can really find the winner. But
Yep.
do you want to wrap up? How do you want to go about it?
Yeah. So yes, one more thing that we have to cover here is, and this is not on UiPath, but about this program, where actually this is a great opportunity for everyone. So we are going with the community certification program, and in this program, we are giving 11 certificates options in a year. So if you join from this like previous month to the next January, we'll give you 11 certification to complete. If you cover it, it will come free of cost to UiPath. So what you have to do, you have to register yourself, and then if you got shortlisted, and then you will get the certifications, learning programs, and once you finish any learning programs, you will get another things, and there's that will goes on, and you will get around 11 certifications free of cost. So this is what I will tell. Don't miss this opportunity to get free things. Prices are pretty higher for the certification, so you can save a lot if you enroll to this certification program. Yeah, I think I am all good, Saloni. So if you want to take it, thank you everyone for joining. Uh,
Thanks, everyone. Thanks a lot for
Thank you,
your
Saloni. Thank you, Pranav.
participation.
Thank you. Thanks,
Let's
Aloni.
catch up
Thanks,
for the
Pranav.
session tomorrow. Pranav, do you want to stay on the call and we can just look at the results if we can
yeah,
find who's the winner?
sure. Yeah, you can
Thanks, guys.
stop the recording.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thanks,
thank you.
everyone.
Yeah, you can stop the recording, Saloni.
Yeah, sure.